Greetings from Waltham, the Watch City. DV Media Productions and the Business Coach present We Found Excellence.
Hello, I am Michael Kaye, President of the Business Coach, LLC. I help businesses and individuals reach and exceed their goals. My passion is business, and definitely we found excellence.
Today on the show, we will be talking with Kaye Armour from Active Paws Incorporated. Active Paws specializes in pet sitting, dog walking, pet care, and education, as well as having a great shop full of pet supplies located in Waltham near the Belmont Border on Trapello Road. Thank you for joining us, and we are excited to share what we found.
We found excellence. Hello, today I'm talking with Kaye Armour, owner of Active Paws in Waltham, Massachusetts, and she has a unique business where she does dog walking, pet supplies, and also some first aid and CPR with different types of animals. And Kaye, welcome to We Found Excellence.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on the program. And what we can do is I'd like to ask you a few questions to learn more about you, your business, and how you got into this. And Kaye, how long have you owned Active Paws, and what were you doing before you decided to go into this business?
Well, Active Paws has proudly entered into its 10th year.
Wow.
Started it back in 2003. And before this, I was actually managing some retail stores. I worked for City Sports, and I also worked for Brookstone as well as Thunder Sports.
Oh.
So I have some retail in my background.
Oh, that's good.
Definitely.
And have you always liked pets and animals?
I have. I grew up with a myriad of pets. So my parents were divorced, and so my father had a set of cats and dogs, and my mother had a set of cats and dogs. So I always really enjoyed being around animals.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And how would you describe your business? What products or services do you provide? And then, did you start this business from an idea, or was it an existing business that you bought?
It was an absolute idea. My business kind of encompasses a lot. I cover holistic pet supplies as well as pet services. We offer dog walking, pet sitting, and I teach pet CPR and first aid classes. So we offer a lot to our clients, and I do that based on what I needed. Mm-hmm. As a single pet owner, when I had to go to work, what would happen to my dog? So it kind of started off that way and developed into something much bigger as I started studying pet nutrition and finding out what was important for a healthy lifestyle. And that's when my store began, and then I started getting into the pet CPR and first aid classes.
How did you pick the location of your store? Because location is always important.
The location is important. They always tell you location, location, location. And one of the main factors for me was it's about 2 blocks from the local dog park that my husband and I met at. So it was important to stay centralized to that location. It was also affordable. It took me quite a while to find it. Business is not something that comes first nature to me. Caring for people's pets does. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to find something that would be amenable to people. It had parking. We've got plenty of on-street parking, but ideally I'd like a parking lot, and I'd like a bigger store. But with the economy in 2010 when I opened, I didn't want to take out huge overhead and not survive. So it was, my location is ideal, being next to the dog park.
Were you one of these children that started businesses when you were young, or did you never, was this your first time?
Well, apparently I did. When you asked that question, I said, I had very little training, but when I was younger, about 10 years old, I had $50 and I bought myself a lawnmower, and I grew up in Baltimore City, and I would go around mowing my neighbors' yards.
Oh, okay.
And I made $25 per yard, which is a lot less than a lot of landscapers were making. But, I do about 2 yards per week, and that was a decent income. And subsequently, I also ended up pet sitting for their cats and dogs. So I never knew that would be my calling later on in life, but indeed, those were my entrepreneurial adventures.
So you had that entrepreneurial spirit
Apparently I
when
did,
you were a kid
yes.
and didn't even know it.
Yes,
it just
exactly.
came natural to you. Did you have a business education, or this was something new in this way?
It was kind of a passion, kind of a calling. I received my BA in sociology from Boston University.
Okay.
I should have gone back and gotten my MBA, but I, attended the school of trial by error. Mm-hmm. And, I've made some mistakes along the way. I've learned a lot. I've learned to really rely on people, ask questions, find professionals in the area that you're uncertain. If you don't understand tax preparation, hire an accountant. So I learned a lot from, I had a mentor. During the summers in college, I would do landscape architect design for a gentleman that started his own business on a whim. And he was a mentor to me, and I followed his lead. And then also my sister-in-law, she ran a plumbing business with, her husband. So I had mentors, I had people to learn along the way, but I definitely had no formal training.
Well, that's good though, that you worked with other people, and that's where, so many businesses work with other businesses and partner together and help each other, and that's what makes it all good.
Exactly.
So that's nice. And then, each business has that unique thing that makes them stand out from another business. What makes Active Paws stand out?
Well, we specialize in the needs of our customers. We specialize in holistic pet supply, and people always ask, what's holistic? It's focusing on the mind, body, and soul of the pet. And that's very important because a lot of people, a lot of marketing can focus on, you need this product, you should get this product. We focus on what that product does for your animal. We focus on what services we can do for your animal. Our mission is we believe in exercise, socialization, and nutrition to create a more balanced pet. And in order to do that, you need to take all of those things into account. You need to have a healthy lifestyle for your animal. Food is a foundation, it's a building block. Mm-hmm. So we provide that in our store, as well as stimulation through toys and all kinds of entertainment, as well as our pet services. People have to travel, and sometimes putting their dog or specifically a cat in a kennel is not an ideal situation. It can be very stressful. So we allow people to travel and keep their pets in their homes.
So you go out to their homes to take care of the pets?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good. So that way a cat is used to their home environment, and you take care of the cat there and that type of thing.
Yeah. And it's important too, our store, there's other chain supply stores that carry similar products. But what we do differently is that we focus on the needs of your specific pet to make their life better. And also we carry premium healthy products and at affordable prices. It doesn't matter, anyone can own a pet. Anyone should have the right to be able to share their life with a pet. But it doesn't mean that only the affluent communities can afford to do so. My mission is to be able to keep every pet healthy on a budget that everybody can afford.
We took a trip to visit Kara at Active Paws to see this fantastic Waltham business up close. We also learned more about her products, operations, and services. Let's check out what we found at Active Paws.
Hello.
Hi, Kara. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. Could you show me around the store?
Sure. Absolutely. So over here, we have our food department. This is mostly for our dog section. We have a cat section over there. So basically what we do here is we carry foods that tend to mimic a more natural diet for your pets. Food is the foundation of life. So it builds the foundation blocks, the building blocks to a healthy pet. So a lot of the foods that we carry are U.S. sourced, or for example, we have one that is specifically sourced in Canada. We carry a lot of grain-free foods, as dogs typically are not designed to digest grains. And we carry a lot of all life stages. A lot of times we're marketed to believe that animals should have puppy or senior foods when, in essence, a young dog should eat more food and an older dog should eat less food.
Oh.
And then along here, one of the biggest issues that you have with dogs is they love to chew. So these are generally our digestible chew sections. We have various oddities, body parts of cows and pigs. So some people can get a little grossed out, but they are dogs at the end of the day and they do love these. One of our neatest products is the Himalayan dog chew. It is actually from the Himalayas and made out of pressed yak's milk.
Oh, okay.
So that is one of our coolest. We have collars and leashes. A lot of the companies that we support here at Active Paws are local. This is a company out of North Conway. And what's really great about Lupine is they have a chew guarantee. So even if your pet chews this, shreds this, it breaks, any reason, you bring it back, swap it out for a free one.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so Lupine's really great like that.
Like a lot of fun toys here and all that?
A lot of fun toys. We hand select these toys. I have a great store manager who has over 17 years in the industry. So she's tried and true on all of these toys. So we have unique toys, egg babies, for example. Dogs like to rip out the stuffing.
Oh.
So what's cool about these is they're stuffingless. They have these little egg babies. So the dog gets the sensation of I tore the animal apart, but in essence it didn't. So those are really cool. We have rope bones, a lot of raw hides, which are very popular. A lot of selection. Then we have a lot of supplements. Just like with humans, as you get older, you get arthritis. A lot of times you need glucosamine and chondroitin. We have that available. Winter time is very difficult on our dogs. So we have a lot of salves that you can put on to help with their skin and coat. Over here we have our cat foods. which mimic our dogs. We try to provide a natural diet for our cats so that it's the foundation of life, so that they have a good, healthy start and a healthy chance at life. So
That's good. And then I heard you talking to one customer that just came in for a toothbrush for their cat.
yes.
And you were telling a good way to brush the cat's teeth so the cat doesn't resist it or something?
Yeah, so approaching a cat with a foreign device and trying to go into their mouth is never a good combination. So in order to make the situation positive, I always recommend using something that they would like. So tuna juice is kind of, kitty crack in the cat world. And so I always recommend a little tuna juice, a little brush, a little tuna juice, a little brush. You can put it on the toothbrush, you can put it on your finger, you can just have it available when the toothbrush comes out so there's a positive association.
Oh, that's good.
We like to problem solve. A lot of times when people come in the store and they have a question about food, we'll ask them more questions than they ask us. And that's so we can, get the best option and provide the best option for your pet. Over here is our treat section. We've singled out a lot of great training treats. They tend to be smaller sizes. I always tell people they want really big cookies, and I say it's not necessarily the size of the treat, it's that they get a treat. That's important.
That's
So
interesting.
some dogs will know that they got a smaller treat than the large bone they're used to, but at the end of the day, to stop packing on calories, because treats can often equal a meal depending on how many you give, we've pulled aside smaller, high value treats that's a lot of our dogs have tested them. So over here is some of our freeze-dried line. We carry a lot of what's called raw food, which is similar to the dog's most natural diet. And a lot of times raw is difficult for people to deal with. It's hard to handle in the home. So they have a dehydrated version. Instead of the wet mess, it's dry.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's very great. This company called The Honest Kitchen has really great flavors. They have one called Love. They have Force and Bark. They have a lot of great products that a lot of our dogs do really well on.
oh.
And finally over here we have our frozen foods. These are as close to the natural diet as you can get without actually bringing home the animal. So it's really nice. They're completely frozen. They're safe to handle as long as you follow precautions and wash your hands. But this is what I actually feed my own dogs, and they enjoy. My cat as well, except for she likes to take hers away and hide it in the basement. So we've had to come up with creative ways on feeding her.
So right now you're located in Waltham, and you service clients in other areas too, or what?
We do.
How
So
far?
currently our store is located in Waltham, but we have people coming from Lincoln, Lexington, people that live in Quincy that work in Waltham. So we have a variety of customers coming to us, but I just expanded our service area. We used to cover just Watertown, Waltham, and Belmont.
Okay.
And I recently moved out to Bolton, Massachusetts, and now we're covering towns surrounding there for our pet services. And I look to hopefully open a store there soon.
People are always important to any business, and how many people work at Active Paws, and are there any unique qualities about these people?
Lots of unique qualities. First off, I have 12 amazing staff members. I would not be where I am without them. They have been kind of the lifeblood to Active Paws because my husband and I know we're trustworthy people that can take great care of your animals, but finding animal lovers that are trustworthy in people's homes, I mean, we're in and out of people's personal homes with their animals, which to many are like children, that they're that important. So that's been what makes us unique. And it's been a challenge, but I have wonderful people. Some are musical teachers in the evenings. Some, have, my operations manager has her own, she has a company called Paper Taxi where she makes greetings cards and paintings. She had some paintings in the Children's Hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I have people from all walks of life.
You said you have several clients and customers, and how many do you care to share that with us?
Sure. Currently to date, we have about 400 active clients and off and on about 2,000 customers.
Really?
Yeah.
So 4,000 active clients.
Yeah.
That's a bunch for a
It
new
is.
business
Well,
like that.
Probably about 70% of that is our dog walking and pet sitting, and then the other 30% is pet sitting. So we're not seeing our pet sitting cat clients, for example, as often as daily, Monday through Friday, as our dog walking clients. But
You've really grown in 10 years, though.
yes, yes.
That's good. So who are the type of people that would use your services?
Well, my demographic is basically me. And that's shifted over the years as well. So when I started off, I was 21, 22 years old, and I was working many hours as a store manager requiring help with my dogs. And so I've worked for people like me as well as mid-30s that are either putting off having children and getting animals, or a lot of the empty nesters. We have people that their children go to college and they get a dog, and to fill kind of, I don't want to say the void of not having a child, but you know what I mean. So yeah, my clientele are kind of all over the place, and it's wonderful. I get to know people of all different walks of life and all different, socioeconomic areas.
I look at businesses and ask people, like, what are your core competencies? And, they could be either marketing, finance, operations, entrepreneurship. What would you say your core competency is?
Entrepreneurship, definitely. I, took products and services that people needed or wanted for their pets and made it available and affordable to them. I started dog walking and pet sitting when mostly just retired women were doing so. I took a profession and made it professional. So it was nice.
That's good. So you listened to the marketplace and you tried to meet the needs of the marketplace, which is great.
I listened to me. I provided what I needed.
So. That's great.
Yeah.
And then what kind of bumps in the road have you had to overcome in your business?
There's been a lot of bumps. I think one of the major challenges, there's two primarily. One is I become very friendly with my clients, and these are people, we're essentially like nannies to their pets, and they get very personal with us. So when times get difficult for our clients and they find it difficult to pay, we're often the last ones paid. So I have had to go to small claims court, and it's not something that is fun or pleasant matter, but people see us as people rather than a business. I've had to install policies to help prevent that. So that's been difficult. The other challenge is finding good staff. It's hard enough to find a person that loves pets and is trustworthy in someone's home, but very frequently I've hired people that have turned around and either started their own business or gone to work for others. So that's been tough to overcome both emotionally and professionally. But what I found is imitation is the greatest source of flattery. So I know that there's great individuals out there that are, working for other companies, and they've been trained by Active Paws to take care of people's pets in a great manner.
What type of advice would you give viewers as per starting their own business or running a business?
Do your homework and just do it. I mean, it sounds cliche, but get out there and do what you love. You can learn along the way as long as you start with a good foundation and understand that things might not go the way that you want. Have a solid plan, but make it fluid.
How do you market your business?
Really, honestly, it's been word of mouth, which has been very fortunate. Recently, of course, developments with the internet. So word of mouth started walking my dogs at the dog park. They got to know my husband and I. They thought that we seemed like trustworthy people, so they found out we were offering services and brought us in. And then, of course, Angie's List and my website in general is just my search engine optimization. Our longevity, being there 10 years, it's easy to find us. Our name's everywhere.
Yeah, that's good. And then one thing that was interesting was these pet CPR and pet first aid. I don't know if you want to show anything on that? Or...
Well, I definitely can. I am currently one of only 2 certified pet tech instructors. I did so in Massachusetts. Yep.
Only one of 2?
One of 2. There are several throughout. I think there's, don't quote me here, but I think there's around 600, maybe 800 total instructors across the United States, and there's some in Australia.
But only 2 in Massachusetts?
Only 2 in Massachusetts,
wow, that is unique.
Yeah, and I did that because not only did I care for 400 client pets in my care, but my own animals. 2 of my dogs battled with a debilitating disease. They were in wheelchairs. So I needed to know how to handle them as well as client pets. I mean, I can give subcutaneous injections. I can save a pet whose heart stops beating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think that's what sets us apart.
It was interesting how you explained how just how they're built differently, and you have to apply CPR differently to one animal versus another animal.
Well, correct. There's a technique called the taco technique, which if you take a cat that has, stopped breathing and doesn't have a heartbeat, you would want to take your 2 fingers like this, and you want to apply your compressions over the widest part of the chest in a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 motion. With a large dog, such as a boxer or a mastiff, you can't exactly lay them down and do that. So you would actually do compressions similar to a human. However, dogs' rib cages are built differently than humans. So it's not something that you could just place them on the floor and start doing compressions. So there's a lot of different techniques that you have to learn with animals. But people that know human CPR they have a lot of knowledge that they could transpire onto pets. But pets are different. I can't tell you call 911. So it's important to know that you are your pet's lifeline. You are your pet's best chance at survival.
Oh, that's important. Now it's that time of the show where our guest is able to ask me, the business coach, a question or two about business to help them succeed with their entrepreneurial goals and endeavors. Let's see what Kara from Active Paws wants to ask me, the coach.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for coming out today.
Okay, you're welcome. My pleasure.
My first question is, how can you keep diversification in check? How do you make certain you don't go too far or haven't diversified enough?
Okay, diversification is interesting. Once you have two products, you're diversifying. So if you have cat food and dog food, now you're diversifying. Now you have to have two inventories. You have cat inventory, dog inventory. Now you have to start managing those things. And what you want to do, you want to diversify to a point where you're taking care of the clients, but not spreading yourself so thin where you can't manage your business. So if you have a plan, again, going back to your business plan of where you want to go with your business, at what time period you want to go with your business. At your store, you have a lot of different products. And what I was talking to some other people at the stores, you have to look at your turn on your inventory when you have all these products and you're diversifying your product mix and everything. So you have to really measure the benefits of diversifying and the cost of diversifying. And then also you provide so many different products, so many different services, dog walking, CPR, first aid classes, and a lot of different things, which are all really good things. But now you have to say, okay, I learned from a good businessman one time, like, how many chairs could one person sit on at one time? Only one. So now you have to see how often you have to put how much time into each of those different things, or have somebody that could manage those different areas of your business so you can diversify. And that's how businesses become larger and larger, but you have to have this management plan and then the measurables to measure if that product line or that product service is growing or not growing, or does it really make sense from a business standpoint. Sometimes the heart says, yeah, let's supply all these pet clothing products, but are you really selling any of those products?
Excellent. What is the best formula for figuring out the best place for a future location?
Okay, so when you're looking at location, what locations can take care of your clients the best? So what I learned from you is being near a dog park is a really important thing for your location. So you don't want to be in some asphalt jungle where there's no place to walk the dogs, or if you are near some asphalt jungle, then you have to be able to take the dog someplace because those people can't walk the dog, so there could be pros and cons on that. But your location, you want to do is look at your customers, kind of like draw a picture of your customer. What does your customer look like? And you want to look at your customers to see where your customers are living, so that way you are convenient to your customers. Also, you want to look at your store footprint. You want to have that parking. You told me you have your own dog walking park also, a private dog walking park, which is really unique. So now, if you had another location or your next location where you had a dog walking park next to that, that makes you unique that way too. So you want to look at all these things, and also the money involved. What is the rent going to cost? Because you have to cover that rent, and that's part of your overhead, and you have to know how much more in sales you have to pay for that new location. Thank you for joining us today on We Found Excellence. I hope you found today's program informative, entertaining, motivating, and enjoyable. I would like to wish you excellence in your future endeavors. And I want to thank today's guest, Kara Armour from Active Paws, located on Trapello Road in Waltham, Massachusetts. It was exciting to share what we have found. We found excellence.